Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Causing a divorce, sharing marriage problems with children, and cats and children being compared. Today I have 3 stories from Reddit's AITA communities to share with you. Enjoy the background noise or speed paint while I give you the information and make my judgment. You all are more than welcome to give your own judgment in the comments as well. If you disagree, tell me why. I'd love to know your thoughts and maybe even reevaluate my own. Make sure you're staying hydrated. I've got my Arizona tea, so let's get started. First up, from Bristol Cameron. Am I the a-hole for being the reason my coworker is getting divorced? I'm inclined to say no, but let's get into it. I'm 23, happily single, and I work with a really chill team. Everyone's super friendly, we help each other out a lot, and we usually go out for lunch together once a week. Our boss is cool too. He'll bring in coffee and donuts every now and then just because. We got a new guy recently, I'll call him Jake. He's in his early 30s, been married for a few years, no kids. Whenever we invite him to join us for lunch or whatever, he always says he can't. At first we thought he was just shy or maybe not into group stuff, which is totally fine. But then one day during a meeting, our boss brought coffee and donuts and Jake was like, "Man, I want one so bad," and someone asked if he had a health thing. He goes, "Nah, my wife Allison doesn't let me have coffee or junk food because she doesn't like me having any caffeine or sugar." The room went quiet real fast. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but I asked, "Wait, is that why you never come to lunch with us? 'Cause your wife won't let you?" And he said, "Yeah. Apparently she doesn't want him doing any social stuff without her now that they're married. Like, he's only allowed to go out if she's there too." I told him if anyone tried to control what I eat or who I hang out with, I'd be out. That's not normal. My boss agreed and told him he might want to talk to someone about it, like a counselor or something. Well, Jake came in today and said they had a huge fight after that convo and she kicked him out. Now he's talking to a lawyer about separation. My sister thinks I was out of line bringing that up in front of everyone, but honestly, was I? I didn't mean to stir the pot, I just couldn't stay quiet about how messed up that sounded. Still, I feel a little guilty. Did I overstep? Okay, I'm gonna have to say not the a-hole. OP has absolutely nothing to do with the marriage problems of their coworker. The coworker is just in an incredibly toxic position, and offering advice is not a bad thing. When you're in a romantic relationship, your partner doesn't let you do anything. They're your partner. They're supposed to be able to trust you to do things without them, and vice versa. I hope that the coworker can get the help that they need and get separated, and I hope that someday his wife will understand that she's being incredibly controlling and toxic. Briefly looking through the comments, it looks like everybody is in agreement, as they should be. I found this comment from Bees for Me that says, "It's possible he was just looking for permission to say something to her." And I 100% agree. Sometimes we already know what we want to do, but we don't feel like we're allowed to do it, so we need other people to validate us in our opinions. Sometimes that can be bad, but in many cases like this one, it's a good thing. But of course, be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Next up, from Sad Special 936. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter that her mom cheated on me when my daughter said my new girlfriend looks like an OnlyFans chick? Throwaway account and fake names. I, 49 male, got divorced from my wife Emily, 49 female, because she cheated on me with multiple men. We have a son and a daughter. Our son Nick, 22, has always been closer to his mom, and our daughter Skylar, 19, has always been closer to me. Not knowing why we got divorced, the kids took their mom's side. I recently started dating Lisa, 54. She has a fun personality, she's smoking hot, and she dresses very fun. When I introduced Lisa to my kids, Nick took a liking to her while Skylar looked annoyed. Days later, Skylar said that Lisa looks like an OnlyFans chick. If you knew Skylar, you would be shocked that she would use that as a way to insult another woman. I told her that her mom Emily was the one who cheated on me and that I met Lisa after the divorce. Skylar just said oh, and she got quiet. But the next day, my ex-wife Emily confronted me. I reminded her that I never promised to keep her cheating a secret. She said that I implied that it would be a secret based on the fact that I never said whether or not I would tell our kids. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Something of an update since I posted. Even though my daughter is in her bedroom in my house, I messaged her because she said she doesn't want to see anyone. She sent me a very, very long message that she had written beforehand. In the message, my daughter admitted that her mom and her maternal aunt said those kinds of things about Lisa. She said she's embarrassed that she repeated those awful things. She said that she thought I was the one who cheated on her mom. She said she thought I had cheated on her mom with Lisa. She said she's not mad at me. She said she's mad at her mom. She said Lisa seems like a wonderful woman. She said she wants to talk about this face to face, but not anytime soon. She said she'll tell me when she's up to talking about it face to face when she thinks she can do it without crying. OP is absolutely not the a-hole here. Before reading the edit, it seems very obvious that Skylar had some kind of unresolved issues about her mom and her dad's relationship, but with the edit, it makes it extremely clear that that is basically the case. It's not surprising that OP's ex-wife would go and say those things now that her husband has found someone else after they have separated, and I can see why it would be shocking that Skylar would parrot those things because she didn't understand the situation. I don't think it's acceptable that she did, but I can understand why she did it. She's only 19, it's an adult, but it's still very young. OP's ex-wife especially has absolutely zero say in what he does or does not tell their children, especially when it seems like OP's ex-wife is the one who caused all the problems. Nick and Skylar are adults, and while I don't think just because they're adults they should be brought entirely into all of the marital problems between their parents, I think that should stay between them. Skylar's comment did, unfortunately, technically instigate the interaction, and it's not wrong for OP to set the record straight. But with the edit, I'm very glad it looks like OP and his daughter will not have a worse relationship because of this. Looking through the comments for this one, it seems like everybody's kind of split. I found this comment by Maverick57 that says, "What the heck does one thing have to do with the other? Your daughter said your girlfriend looked like an OnlyFans model, and your response to that was to tell your daughter that her mother cheated on you? Why? What does your wife's infidelity have to do with your daughter's perception of how your new girlfriend looks?" And while I understand where this person is coming from, I still have to disagree. In the way that I've interpreted OP's story, it seems like he kind of inferred that based on this comment being wildly different from how Skylar would talk about other women, it seems like Skylar's mom may have given her the idea that Lisa must be bad because her dad did something to make Lisa bad, i.e. OP is the cause of the divorce. With that inference, it makes OP's reaction of, "Let me correct this because she clearly has the wrong picture," a lot more justifiable. Maybe the exact wording or the tone or the emotions behind the situation could have been a bad situation and just made it generally unpleasant, but in the end, I think it is important that Skylar got that information and knew that Lisa was not a bad person, that her dad was not a bad person, and that the comments that her mom and her maternal aunt are sharing around her are very bad. I saw a lot of people in the comments getting upset with OP for bringing up his marital problems to Skylar, but I don't see anybody bringing up the fact that OP's ex-wife and sister-in-law were clearly doing the same thing, to the point where Skylar goes against her normal views on women to make that comment to her father. But be sure to share your thoughts down below. Last but not least, OpenAid1297. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that having cats is not the same as having children? I'm inclined to say yes, but let's get into it. I, 26 female, have a sister that I'll call Jenna, 23 female. We're not extremely close, mainly because she was always closer to our younger brother, 22, but we still see each other pretty often. Last week, we were both invited by our mutual friend that I'll call Mary, 25, to her baby shower. The baby shower was super fun, and it was a great occasion to reconnect with some friends from college that I hadn't seen in a while. Everything was going wonderfully. Toward the end of the baby shower, a lot of the guests had left, and Mary, my sister, 2 other friends, and I ended up talking for a while. Those 2 other friends both have children, and I have a daughter, so we were all giving Mary advice, telling her what to expect, and talking about baby stuff. Jenna was the only one in the group who didn't have children and wasn't expecting, so I guess she was feeling a bit left out. Because of that, she kept talking about her experience as a cat mom. Every time someone would tell a story, or talk about something they experienced with their children, she'd say that she experienced something similar with her cats. When we were talking about how being a parent can be exhausting, she kept talking about how having 3 cats was also hard work. No matter what we said, she was always bringing it back to her and her cats. At one point, one of my friends was talking about how much responsibility it was to raise children, and Jenna just replied, "Having cats is a huge responsibility too." I simply told her that that was not really the same thing, and she got really defensive. She said that it was the same thing, and started to talk about all the ways that having cats can be demanding and a huge responsibility, and said that we were basically shaming her for not having children. I tried to tell her that it wasn't an insult and we weren't saying that it wasn't demanding or anything, but that you can't compare having pets and having children. I have both cats and a baby, and it's nowhere near as exhausting to have a cat as it is to have a baby. She said that we were disrespectful and invalidating her experience and didn't talk to us again until we left. She hasn't talked to me since. I get that she was feeling excluded from the conversation and maybe tried to find a way to insert herself in it, but also I feel like it makes sense for us to be talking about children since it's a baby shower. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up, but I also don't feel like what I said was really wrong, and I'm feeling like she might be overreacting a bit. But I don't really know how to feel about it, so I thought I'd get another perspective on this. Edit. I just realized that I didn't make it really clear when I told her it wasn't the same. It was meant as a joke. Not a very funny one maybe, I'll give you that, but I really wasn't being mean. It was supposed to just be a light way to reply to her, not at all an insult. Okay, I think for this one, I'm gonna have to say everyone sucks here, but on different levels. I think OP making a joke when she could assume that her sister was feeling excluded was pretty distasteful. But in the end, she's not entirely wrong that having cats and having children aren't really the same. Certain people can handle different things though, so maybe her sister finds having 3 cats very demanding. Whereas never having had a baby, she wouldn't necessarily know the difference in demand. I think it's unfair of OP to expect her sister to understand how different they are when never having experienced both. But on the side of OP's sister, I understand feeling excluded from the conversation, but it's also unclear from how OP writes the story if her sister was inserting herself every chance she got or simply being a part of the conversation. If she was inserting herself whenever she could, I could see that being a little bit of an a-hole, because now it seems like she's making it about herself. But if she's simply having a conversation, everyone's going around saying their experiences, I don't think that's an issue. In the end, I think everyone sucks here. Additionally, I understand it's in retrospect, but OP recognizing that their joke wasn't really funny, but still mentioning that they think their sister overreacted, is kinda mean. Okay, so if we're looking in the comments for this one, it looks like basically everybody disagrees with me. I found this comment from AccordingPen927 that says, "Not the a-hole, but also kinda the a-hole. Having pets and having children are 2 different experiences, but there are definitely some similarities, especially if you have a soul pet. If your sister felt a bit left out and just shared stories of how she relates to parents like staying up when her cat is sick, the crazy amount of money put into cat care, etc., I don't see why you'd have to call her out in front of everyone. If she continued to interject in other kid-related combos and or seem to think that it's the exact same experience, then sure, remind her of the differences in private. By the way, you know how moms complain about how their childless friends don't get them, / don't visit as much, etc.? The reverse can happen too. Once my group of friends started becoming moms and 2 of us didn't, we got shunned out. A couple of them even tried to make us feel less womanly since we hadn't experienced birth. It's bizarre. Life would be so much easier for everyone if we could be kind to each other regardless of what our families look like. And I 100% agree. As I said before, if the sister was just making those comments, trying to be involved in the conversation, because it's her friend too, then I don't see why that comment would have to be made. But if the sister is saying that, oh, it's exactly the same, or having the cat is basically having the baby, then yes, I can see why that comment might need to be made, not as a joke, but in a serious conversation, in private. I don't think it needed to be brought up in front of everybody. But of course, let me know what you think down below. And that brings us to the end of our video. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave your comments casting your judgment below, and have a wonderful insert period of time in your time zone. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm retreating back into my hoodie. Eat something yummy and go drink some water. Until next time!